and welcome everybody to this week's Market Share, the short weekly segment brought to you by MKR, where we bring you all the noteworthy news and updates surrounding digital media and the world today. I'm your host Genevieve, and we've got some very notable stories for you today, so let's get started. First up, the running shoe brand Saucony is attempting to outpace doom scrolling with their new Marathumb challenge, which encourages people to move their feet more than their feed. We've talked about this before on Market Share, but the average person scrolls the length of 3 marathons per year, equaling 78 miles, which is an absolutely terrifying statistic. The app that goes along with the challenge compares your scroll distance versus the distance you've run, which could be a very effective motivating tactic or scare tactic, at least for me personally. For Android users, the application uses screen time metrics to actively compare scrolling distance to stepping distance. Whereas for iOS devices, the platform compares steps to the average national distance scrolled, which is scary when you think about all the people that live on TikTok. Especially with January being the month of New Year's resolutions, this is an extremely clever play by Saucony that may actually get some people off their couches and onto running paths. Next up, more news about cookie depreciation that you'll definitely want to hear about. A report from Winterberry Group found that 2024 will most likely be a much more vibrant year for ad spending than 2023, even after considering the amount of election-related noise on every channel. Investment in data-driven channels will flourish in 2024, as people are looking for ways to spend their money on data, data services, and data infrastructure, as they experience the death of the cookie. They're looking for first-party data, and they'll do just about anything to get it, especially if it means diving deeper into AI and machine learning. And this should account for the growth momentum that was lacking for most of last year. Networks are going to be taking a much more disciplined approach to deal making, bundling linear and digital buys together and providing better audience targeting tools. But just remember that blurring the lines between digital and linear will provide quite the measurement headache without common metrics across different channels. Overall, since marketing spend is going to grow so much this year, make sure you prepare for potentially increased prices and invest in finding creative strategies to stand out against the rest of the pack. Last up today, and in very sad but not surprising news, the Solo Stove campaign featuring Snoop Dogg did not quite light a fire under their customers as they expected. For a few years during the COVID and early post-COVID era, everybody was looking for a new activity and a way to sit outside and be around friends, which made the Solo Stove quite a successful product. This then led them to be forced to try to keep up sales momentum, which leads us to Snoop Dogg, the Smokesperson campaign. Right from the get-go, this should have been a brand awareness play, not an initiative to get more sales. After Snoop announced that he was giving up smoke, Solo Stove generated tons of earned media and received a bump in social engagement, making it an initial success. But having Snoop Dogg represent your company can't be cheap, and the campaign definitely didn't deliver on the expected sales lift. Which we can deduce is because they missed the mark with the company's core customer base of outdoor enthusiasts. Needless to say, they will most likely be shifting their messaging to reach that market to expand their reach and benefit their brands over the long term, aka not necessarily making a trendy campaign. So when you're thinking of your next out-of-the-box campaign, just make sure you're not alienating the people who normally buy your products. That's all for this week's Market Share. My name's Genevieve, and I'll see you all next week. Investment in data-driven channels will... no. So when you're thinking Sorry.